Oh my God. What up, y'all? It's your boy Pink, and today we are doing the Mico 2025 vlog. A few years back, I did a vlog where I went to go see Mico for the first time in Brooklyn at Elsewhere Zone 1. Initially, I underestimated how far Asbury Park was. When it came to getting there, $100 Ubers are not it, so Vic footed the way there, and I footed the way back. When I looked up the venue, Asbury Lanes, for some reason it didn't click that this was gonna dead ass be a fucking bowling alley. But to start things off, we have our opener, Vault Boy. I didn't know who Vault Boy was, but looking him up, I saw that he had, at the time of filming, 1.8 million Spotify listeners, which is crazy. Very talented and a silly boy, we can say. But the first song from his set is What Do I Know? That came from the Sunflower 2025 EP. The song starts with some nice airy pads, a smooth bass line, and some crispy poppy indie drums. The chorus is really fun to sing along to, and the vocals overall are really good. I love the other synths that get layered on top of the bass throughout the song, and the post-chorus of this song after the second hook is really catchy to me. I like that the bridge uses a mix of acoustic and electric guitars, and this song serves really well as an opener. After that was Everything Hits Me at Once from Everything and Nothing, the 2024 album, but was first released as a single in 2023. The song has some trappy drums and some really fun 808s. There's a Mellotron-like flute, I think it is. Later in the song, there's some deeper and harder 808s that come in when the hook comes around. There's a choir-like layer with some cool synths, nice use of the Apple texting and message sounds as percussion throughout the verses, and there's a nice little Reese bass before the second hook. The production is simple on the song, but hits really good when the hook comes around. I love the auto-tune vocal runs and riffs that are towards the end of the song. It was really good. Following that is You're My Moon. That was originally a single in 2024, but also appears on Everything and Nothing. There's a really pretty piano in this song. I love the lyrics in this song because I love sad boy shit. There's some nice layered synths in this song, but the drums don't come in till the hook of the song, which make it hit harder. The drums are really simple, but I love what they do with the 808s in this song. The post-chorus has some additional keys that are a very nice touch of ear candy. The vocal layers in this song before the hook comes back are really nice, and this dude is really talented. I love the dreamy atmosphere of the song, and the strings on this are a really nice touch. Up next is Everything Everywhere that featured EJ, originally a single in 2023, but was also on Everything and Nothing. It has a sort of a trap R&B feel, simple drums, but a really nice use of pianos and a reverse synth slash bass. Nice use of falsetto in the pre-chorus, and the vocals complement the 808s on the hook, and it works really nicely. I had to Google this, but I didn't know that EJ's name was pronounced as EJ, because I always read it as Yaj, or I thought it was just J backwards. But it's also pronounced as EAJ. When his part of the song comes on, his vocals sound like butter on this production. It's very smooth and I really liked it. I do like his flow, which mirrors Vault Boy's flow on this song, but when their vocals come together, it sounds really nice, and the song overall is really good. After that is I Think I Want to Text You from the self-titled Vault Boy EP from 2022. It has a nice soft piano. I love the runs in this song, and it's a very fun song to sing along to. Easy to learn as well. There's some simple production with piano and eventually some synth slash bass on this song. There's drums and more synths come in after the second hook. It really feels space-like and dreamy, and I kind of love the cinematic drum hits that come on. The poppy drums that come in on the last chorus are really nice, added with the vocal runs that were really dope in this song. After that is I Wish You Knew, originally a single in 2022, but also appears on the This Is What I Get EP that also came out in 2022. Vault Boy seems to really love soft pianos. I mean, I do too. They sound really nice. His voice sounds really nice on this song too. Really smooth. I feel like this song is perfect for when you're doing something, but you really need to cry for whatever reason. And trust me, this is a compliment. Because me personally, I really like sad music. Why do you think I'm a Mico fan? Especially in the second verse, the lyrics in that hit close to home for me. There's some slight strings that make this more emotional and make it hit even harder. I love the airy synths that are quiet in the production but feel perfect for this song. The gang vocals on this make it seem like it would be perfect for like a live action drama show. A favorite from his set for sure. Up next was Fade Away. That was originally a single from 2025 but also appears on the EP Sunflower. And during the live set we had Matt on the drums, so shout out to Matt. On this song there's some bright sounding piano which felt nostalgic with the way that it's mixed. Then it turns into like indie rockish with the crisp dry drums and a nice deep bass. The falsetto flips in this song are really really good when he sings the part Fade Away. There's a cool piano riff on the second verse that I really liked, and the strings I feel like serve as ear candy on this song. The bridge is really fun, and a really cool synth that comes in on the last hook. I love the production on a lot of these songs, if you can't tell. Following that was Everything Sucks, originally a 2021 single that had many versions, and I listened to all of them. So let's talk about the original first. The production has like some piano synth stabs with some bass on it. Then the song becomes really dreamy with some pads and it changes to an 808. There are drums that come in the second verse that are really nice and tight, and what I feel like is another use of the mellotron. The chorus is really nice and seems easy to learn. It's a very fun song, even if the name makes it seem otherwise. Now for the remixes, I listened to Lil Jet versions first. All these remixes don't have really changes in production. They're more so just versions with features from select artists. I don't know who Lil Jet is, so it took me by surprise to hear that he switched to Chinese halfway through the verse, but it sounded really smooth on this song. The Eric Nam version is kind of him just doing Vault Boy's verse, but he sounds nice, so it wasn't bad. The Gracie version was cool, and I like that she sings on the hook as well. I like the way that she sang her ad-libs on this song. And fun fact, during this recording, I found out there's another version of this song featuring Arjun Kanugo. I hope I pronounced that right, which came out in 2022. On Arjun's version, it's him singing Everything Sucks in English, but then he switches over to Hindi. His voice sounds really nice, and even though I don't know what he's saying in Hindi, he sounds really dope, and he has really nice sounding like ad-libs that add on to the final chorus of the song. I actually kind of like this version the most, as well as Gracie's version. Everything Sucks was also featured on the Vault Boy EP from 2022. After that is Rocket Science, a single that came out in 2021, but also was featured on the Vault Boy EP. It starts with some synth arps with, I think, drums from the 909 drum kit / drum machine. There's some synth stabs with some bass that feel really nice in this song, and then there's some bright synth basses that take over the hook with some pads and a really nice sounding production. I like the addition of live drums mixed with trap hi-hat rolls, and this song was really nice to close out his set. With songs like this, I can see why Mico got Vault Boy to open the show. I love the vibes, and his set list was really great, and he seems like a cool dude too. After a short intermission, we have Mico coming up on stage by himself, and throughout his entire set, there's this ongoing theme or bit with like an AI thing that's taking over because ooh, AI, fuck AI. When he starts his set, the first song that he performed was The One to Fall. Originally from the Internet Hometown Hero 2024 album, there's also an offline version, which is when he did the album live in Toronto, and the DLC version of Internet Hometown Hero, which basically just has 3 extra songs. The song starts with an acoustic guitar, has a lot of nice falsetto flips. I'm gonna be saying vocal flips a lot because Mico loves to flip between his registers. Not that that's a criticism, I love that he does that a lot because it sounds really nice. But there's a really nice lead in with the bass. I love the chorus, it's fun to sing along to, especially the flips in it. There's an instrumental break that makes me stank face every time that I listen to it. The bridge is nice and it serves as a way to slow things down, but then it brings the energy back up with the hook. I love a lot of Mico's music because they're all well written and produced. They're fun to sing, and of course, like I said before, I love sad boy shit. Ever since I started listening to Mico, he appears on my top Spotify artists ever since I started listening to him. After that, we have TV from Internet Hometown Hero. There's some slow filtered acoustic guitars with what might be a synth vocal, or at least like a vocal that's processed, but it sounds really cool. The drums are really nice and crisp on this song. The chords in this song are rockish, and the hook is really fun to sing in this song, and I love how all the elements come together on the hook. Mico really likes having fun with his versatility and his vocal ability, especially his flips and the different tones that he does throughout the song. I love how the drums hit in the final chorus. It's really good. After that is a song that Mico has that also features EJ. So I thought it was cool that both of them have songs that feature EJ on them. And that song is Ever After, a single from 2025, but also appears on the Without Me single / Waterfall EP from 2025. There's some filtered synths with some simple snares, hats, and nice ear candy. It builds up into this big chorus with hard snares and synths. I love the nostalgic feel that this song has, and EJ's featured verse is really nice and soft. I love how he does his version of the pre-chorus. It's a very short song, but it's really fun. I love how they layer both Mico and EJ's vocals together, and the vocals sound really good on the final chorus. After that is Good Luck Have Fun, or GILF Less Than 3. Hey man, he came up with the title, not me. This was a single from 2024, also appears on Internet Hometown Hero, and there's also a Nightcore version of the song. This is one of my favorite Mico songs, and the guitar immediately makes your head want to bop along to it, followed with some 4 on the floor drums. The vocal flips in the song are so good and they're really fun to sing along to. I really like singing this song on the way home from work whenever it comes on my rotation. There's a little bit of gang vocals that come up on the hook, but they're really quiet in the background, but they're a really nice touch. The vocal layers in the second pre-chorus feel so heavenly. There's an instrumental break that's really fun because the guitar imitates the vocal melody and then just has like a really sick guitar solo afterwards. It's fun to sing and hum along to, and similar to what Mico says on the song, good luck, have fun. After that, it took me by surprise because they brought up the AI bit thing again, and that they were quote-unquote no good songs until That's So True by Gracie Abrams came on. And the original song from Gracie Abrams came from the Secret of Life Deluxe album that came out in 2024, and the OG album also came out in 2024. Now, I don't know too much about Gracie Abrams. I just remember seeing her album at work and thought, who this? But on the original song, there's an acoustic guitar with some double layered vocals. There's a quiet bass and simple 4-on-the-floor kicks once the hook comes in. The top line is really fun and easy to sing along to, especially the oohs. While recording, I don't think I'm including it, but I did like a mini song break. But the bridge has this really fun feeling of going up the scale until it quiets down into the pre-chorus, and then it builds back up into the hook again. It's some really nice background vocals and snares and synth. The song is short, but it's really nice. Mico's version, of course, uses an acoustic guitar, but there's immediate drums, which make it sound so big, and I love the rock elements that they added to this song. It gives it the Mico touch, and this song suits his voice really well, especially the vocal flips in the song. And I love what they did for their version of it. I wish there was a studio version, but to re-listen to it, I have my footage, but someone also uploaded it onto YouTube, so you can look it up if you want to. But I'm glad I got to experience this song. It was really cool. After that is Down, which came from the Second Thoughts EP from 2022. And before the song started, there was a Labubu hanging off the guitar, and they named it Coco. Shout out to the fan that got to name it. On this song, there's this piano kind of Rhodes thing going on. There's more of a swing feel on this song. Some guitars come in with some background vocals. There's guitars that add to that Rhodes and the pre-chorus. The drums don't come into the chorus itself, and we get more bass and rock guitars on it, as well as some lead guitar. On the second verse, we still get those Rhodes, but there's more of active drums with some hi-hats and rim shots, as well as some guitar. In the second verse, there's some really nice sounding background vocals. There's a little instrumental break as a post-chorus with a cool guitar solo. In the bridge, it's mostly just the drums and there's like some synths in the background, and then we get a rinse and repeat of the chorus. But when the second half of the chorus comes in, there's a lot more active guitars that build up on everything, and it sounds really nice and full. Following that is Prove Me Wrong, originally a single from 2023. There's a Nightcore version, but this also appears on the Tears We Fight EP. All came out in 2023. The song starts out with some filtered guitars and drums, and we don't even get snares until we get to the first hook. Again, vocal flips that are very fun to sing along with, and I really like the chugs from the guitar that we get. I love the melody in the second verse. We get some nice tight dry drums that come in, and they're filtered throughout until we get the full drums in the second hook. There's a really cool fun synth solo in the post-chorus, quiet bridge where Mico sings in a lower register but then leads into the fun hook again that adds a synth on top. The song ends on some filtered vocals with an acoustic guitar. Really nice vibe. Up next was a then new song at the time, Parasite, which released in 2025 as a single but also appears on the Without Me single Waterfall release. The song starts with some strings, some fun poppy drums, and the guitars underneath. There's some synths that join in with some claps and an interesting bass synth. There's a fun hook with his vocal flips, of course, and there's a feature on the song, Hayden Henderson. Hayden Henderson wasn't at the show, but I love the flow that he has on his verse, and I like how he sounds when he's doing the pre-chorus. And I love Mico's vocals when he comes back in, and his falsetto leads us back into the hook. It's a really fun song. I also remixed it too. Plug! Up next was Don't You Cry featuring Fault Boy, so he got to come out again. This song is featured on the Internet Hometown Hero DLC album. It starts with the filtered guitar, synth, and strings. There's some drum and bass drums and a nice Reese bass. It's a nice style change because we were getting mostly rock stuff, so getting some drum and bass was like, ooh, tone switch. There's some really nice falsetto flips in the hook, nice ear candy synths as well. Fault Boy sounds really nice on the second verse. They added synths on this verse, which was really cool, and there's some dope 808s on the hook. The flow on the bridge is really nice. It leads up with some filtered rock drums. The hook still has some drum and bass drums, but the production feels so full, especially with the background vocals. And I was not expecting a Jersey beat switch up, but that was a nice touch, especially being in and from New Jersey. After that is Somebody You Hate from the Internet Hometown Hero DLC album. There's some synths doing some chords and a simple melody. The flow is really nice. It's simple, but it's really easy to learn. The production quiets down in the chorus, but to me, I got a little confused when it came to the songwriting of this song, because to me, the pre-chorus and the chorus kind of feel like they're the same, but there's drums that come in on the second verse, some percussion as well. The pre-chorus has some guitars and pads that come in, but they quiet down again in the hook. I love the acoustic guitar because it's mixed well with the synths, and there are these vocals that are auto-tuned, but they're really quiet yet distorted at the same time. Really interesting choice, but it works really well in the song. The end of the song uses some cool synths and switches up the drums until it ends on a nice note. But from nice, we get to sad because we have Tears in Your Eyes from Internet Hometown Hero. There's a slightly filtered electric guitar. The guitars build up with even more guitars, and we get some drums that come in through a filter. Everything fully comes in on the hook, which sounds really cool because of the reverb on them. There's a muted guitar with some synths and drums on the second verse. Really nice production throughout on this song. Everything feels like it has its own space, and I love the drum fills in the final hook and the vocal layers, of course. After that is I Don't Wanna Know You, that originally came out in 2024 as a single, but is also featured on Internet Hometown Hero, as well as a Nightcore version. I love this fucking song, dude. It's super fun to sing along with. There's an acoustic guitar until the pre-chorus where we get bass and keys / pads that come in. The production on this song becomes full on the hook because we get more active drums, some rock guitar, and I think a vocal synth on it. I really love how tight the drums are on this, and you can really hear them on the second verse since they're more so isolated. The vocal flips on this song are really fun to sing, especially in the post-chorus after the second hook. The song also features an acoustic version of the hook until the second half, where all the elements come back with a quiet belting vocal in the background. Everything just sounds really nice in this song. Following that is Deserve This, a single from 2024, and of course there's also a Nightcore version of it. The song starts with a couple synths that are filtered as well as a vocal synth. There's a re-space in here with some trappy drums mixed with live drums, so those were a nice touch. The pre-chorus has some filtered guitars until the full drums come in with the guitar chords and bass. There's a synth bass on the second verse. I love the drum fill. There's a quiet final chorus with the synths from the beginning. Really nice sounding song. After this is Cut My Hair, a single from 2022. I related too much to this song when it came out, as I mentioned in my previous vlog. There's some deep distorted bass with some claps, some quiet acoustic harmonics until we get to the hook. We get rock chords with some nice vocal stacks, which kind of feel like they're going through a vocoder. I don't know, but they sound really dope. There's some piano and some really fun active drums in the second half of the hook, and yes, this song is also very fun to sing along to. This song has a clap section for some audience participation. The bridge also has some guitar harmonic and a clean guitar until the drums come back in to lead to another clap section, which then leads into the final hook. The final hook adds a synth and keys as long as another guitar melody. It's a really fun song, but I don't know if the people up front had some fun because they got baptized. Luckily, Vic and I were towards the back. But following that is Treat Your Friends, a single from 2023, but is also featured on the After Party EP. There's an acoustic guitar until another layer comes in. The pre-chorus has some epic drum crashes with some synths, I think. There's some filtered vocals. In my notes, I wrote that the second verse has a wow synth because that's what it sounds like to me. But it also has some fun drums, claps, and perks that lead into a big pre-chorus, and the percussion is also on the pre-chorus. I love the bridge because of the guitar and the filtered beatboxing, which is also fun to beatbox along to. This builds up with some 4-on-the-floor kicks, some really fun vocal melodies, and I love the extra belts that are a bit quiet in the final hook. The song ends with some vocals that sound like they're going through a vocoder with some beatboxing, and I really thought that that was a cool way to end the song. Up next was Senses, a single from 2024, but also appears on Internet Hometown Hero. Senses is a song that I love a lot from Mico's discography. It's just so good. It has a lot of meaning. I love this song a lot, but it starts with a quiet guitar throughout the song until the second verse. The drums are really nice and tight. I love the hook of this song, especially the vocal flips. I think there's some quiet strings that pop up in this song at some point. There's more guitars on the bridge as well as some piano, which sounded really nice. The final hook has some nice synths with some beautiful arps and vocal layers. More background belting vocals, which sounded really nice. After that is Homesick, a single from 2024, which also has a Nightcore version, is featured on Internet Hometown Hero, and there's a repack EP that came out in 2025. The repack is basically every version of the song on its own EP, so there's the original, the acoustic, the live version in Toronto, and the Nightcore version. version. The song starts with some piano and some 4 on the floor kicks. The snares come in at the pre-chorus and the full production comes in at the hook with some drums and chill bass line and some rock chords. It quiets down towards the end of the hook with some simple production in the second verse. The pre-chorus adds some synths and vocal layers. The post-chorus has some really nice vocals on it and switches up the drums, but then quiets down to just the piano. But then immediately builds back up into that full production. It's really nice and the belting in the background sounds really dope, and it ends on a quiet note with just the piano and the falsetto vocals. This song is another one that's really fun to sing on the walks home from work. After that is I'd Hate to Be My Friend. This is a single from 2025, but also appears on the Internet Hometown Heroes DLC album. There's an intense feel immediately with electric guitars and some fast-paced drums. I get reminded of Fall Out Boy whenever it comes to this song, and of course, he does a lot of vocal flips on this song. They're really good. The hook builds up with some synths, synth bass, and the production makes me stank face with how it mixes everything together well. The second verse is short as shit, but it leads back into that fun-ass hook, then quiets down with another electric guitar, but then builds up with the drums, distorted vocals, and then back into the hook that ends on like a little wind down kind of thing. This song has been stuck in my head since I had to re-listen to these songs for this video, but it's really short but a really dope song. After this, there's a little break for the AI thing to do its bit and then it screams, but this leads to Better from the After Party EP. There's an acoustic guitar and then some simple drums that come in that are really nice and crisp, rock guitars that come in with some harmonics in the hook, more full guitars in the post chords with a fun guitar melody and vocal layers. The second verse simplifies the production a bit but adds a really nice guitar melody that follows the vocals. I love how the guitars sound in the hook. The post chorus takes away some of the guitars to simplify it again, but then brings them back with all the other elements in the final hook. It's a really fun song about not handling your mental health well, but still a fun song nonetheless.
You know what? While we're paused, can I just take a second to thank the amazing crew that I have for this tour? Start over with Kevin over on the lights. Been crushing it. Asley over at the merch table. Nemo's flipping me off, so I don't know if he deserves one. You know what? Instead of cheering, can everybody just flip off Nemo real quick? Sound guy and also amazing tour manager, basically my father right now. Sorry, Dad, I know you're standing right there. He drives through every single fucking night for us. Night after night after. So can we get a round of applause for Austin, who probably won't be able to hear it, but can we try? Ruma over here on media. Come on, boy. Come on, my boy. All right, you can go now. And last but not least, these three guys that I share the stage with every single night. We all went to the same high school in some weird fucking town, like 3 cities out from Toronto. We used to play in bands after school together, and we kind of fucking sucked. I don't know how much better we've gotten, but hey, at least it's fucking fun for us to do every single night. So please give it up for Jason, Raphael, and Matt, everyone. And last but not least, give it up for every single person in this room tonight that decided to come out of their house. I know it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of fucking money these days. I try to make them cheap, but it's really not fucking cheap anymore. So thank you for your love, your energy, your passion. None of this shit would be possible without every single one of you here. All right, I think I'm done being senti now. Anyways, this next song, I lied, I'm not done being senti. This one's pretty fucking senti. Thank you for coming out tonight. This next song that we have is for all of the people that have been here for a while. Came out like 2 years ago on the date, like 3 days ago, but I'm still gonna say on the date. It's a very special song to me, and I hope none of you relate to it, but if you do, hey, we're all here. So, here we go. It's called Another Soul.
And to end things, this has to be one of my favorite songs, even though I said that others were my favorite, but this tops all of them for me because I related too hard to this song when it came out. It literally struck a chord within me. I didn't cry when I listened to it, but I was very close to. But the song starts with an acoustic guitar. We get some pads that are really quiet but help with the vibe. Soon there's some drums, some 808s and a guitar in the refrain with some vocal flips. Of course, classic Mico. We get the refrain again but with some really quiet strings. When the hook finally comes in, we get a beautiful stack of vocoder vocals, and the sound of them is really fucking good. I love the way that they sound so much. There's an electric guitar in the second half with some 808s that sounded dope. The bridge gets a bit quiet with some acoustic guitar, but the collapse builds it back up with some drums back into the chorus. More vocal flips in this song, and it's so fun to sing. But with that was the end of the show. There was sadly no encore, and I say that because Vic and I stayed like an extra few minutes. I wanted to cop some merch, but the line felt a little too long, and we had a long journey back. What did you think though?
Oh, it was fucking great.
I told you would like it.
He has good stage presence.
Yes, but it's just that one song though. Maybe I'm the problem that we didn't play, which I don't mind. But I would have liked it.
You wanted to cry?
Yes, because Another Soul, I feel that shit in my fucking soul, bro. We walked around a little bit, went to the beach, and ordered our Uber from there. And then once we got to Journal Square, made our separate ways, and that was it. And before I end this vlog, I want to hit y'all with another fun fact. For those who don't know, I am a little obsessed with the Epic the Musical songs. Around the time where I finally started going through all of the sagas, Mico is on it, playing Telemachus, Odysseus' son. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, that's fucking Mico. But he is credited under his real name. I'm not gonna say it for the sake of this video, but he is featured on, I'm just gonna list them, not in order, but Legendary, Odysseus, Keep Your Friends Close, Little Wolf, Will Be Fine, and I Can't Help But Wonder. Even though I was so surprised hearing him, I am happy that he featured on this because every single song from Epic the Musical is so well written. Jay Herans or Jorge Rivera Herans is super talented when it comes to songwriting. His production is dope. Every person that was featured, every singer on this project, immensely talented. When I first saw the 2-hour-long animatic, I loved all of the versatility, the different genres, the motifs and leitmotifs that appear on every other song, how there's callbacks here and there. There's so much to love about Epic the Musical, and it's so funny that I originally found out about Epic the Musical through a fucking shit post that I did. Which Epic the Musical song are you? And I think the one that I got was Mutiny, and I didn't know what it was at the time, and I was like, fuck it, let me look up what this is, and I fell in love with it immediately. Aside from Mico, ever since I listened to Epic the Musical, a lot of the songs are heavy on my rotations, and they're so fun to sing. I don't give a fuck if people look at me when I'm singing shit from the Odyssey. I don't care. These songs are great. I love them so much, and the creator is currently working on the Iliad. Hopefully he has some auditions open up soon. I'm not the greatest of singers, but I would love to audition for any and probably every song. I would love to contribute to such an amazing project as that. But with that, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. What do you think? Have you listened to Vault Boy? Have you listened to Mico? Have you listened to Gracie Abrams? Have you listened to Epic the Musical? Let me know your thoughts on anything and everything down in the comment section. And with that, I have been Pink, and I will see y'all whenever.